when the when I look up at the sky, I see when I see a light in the sky, when I see a light up in the sky and it shoots down, or when you see a blue moon or planet Earth or 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 living on Earth or seeing something dark, just like when you see a black hole, you see a black hole, you see a black hole, and like when we put the man on when we first put the man on the moon, we put a man on the moon. That's what created. Did you even know that 50 years ago we had the internet? Do you know that we have before we had social media, before we had the, like I was born before, when the internet started and all that stuff, and we had email and we had, and I was wondering what life was like without social media and everything. Now I know social media makes people jealous, or people think, oh, oh, this person's on Facebook. I don't like this person on Facebook, you know, and and I would say to that person and think, I would probably think that person should not be jealous about just because that person's working more and you're not working because the other person's not working more often and kind of on social media so much. And I kind of understand what social media does, even though we've had Facebook for 15 years. I know that Twitter came along, Instagram came along, even though Instagram bought Facebook. But I can understand that being on Facebook is something that as Americans, we always have a right to do that, and we have a right to be on social media if we want to check, be on our. Because look, we live in a world where I know every day at work I have phones where I see people on their phones at work, which I know that I can't, I really can't do that. I can't really make, control I can't control what people do on their phones because, we live in a sensitive world where, where phones are just kind of like, where cell phones are just, they're not, they're just devices that they all happen to be devices. Like, cell phones are very different. We live in a sensitive world where people would say, well, if you pick on a person being on their phone, then they'll tell you to just mind your own business. They'll say mind your own business. They'll say, whatever I do on my cell phone is none of my business. It's none of your business. And I think how I react to that, the way I react to that, is to make sure that do I don't really I always try to say to myself, just walk away. Don't do anything wrong. Just walk away. When somebody tells you to mind, or you just, that's what I always do. I always mind my own business at times because and the reason why, because I'm an adult. I do what I'm told. I do what I'm supposed to do as an adult. I have responsibilities. Even though I need help with making decisions about what I want to do, I do need, everybody needs help with adjusting life a little bit, and everybody needs help, trying to, people, when I see people on their phones, I know as a human being, you probably think, why do people be on their phones? Why? I personally, I think they just Well, I can't really pick on the managers at my job because the managers have the right. Every manager has the right to be on their phones if they're to calling just for business purposes. They're able to do that. But coworkers in general, I know that most places at work, I mean, most workplaces won't allow us to use phones unless if it's for emergencies or anything like that, which I do know that. I do know that because that's because everybody has an addiction to their everybody has an addiction to their phones, and whether they're and I know it's none of my business. I know it's not my concern, or it's nobody else's business but mine's. But I understand. Okay, okay. Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.